What's up, Book Besties? Welcome to another episode of She's All Books, where we dive into the raddest reads that will totally blow your mind. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's chat all things books. Because life's too short for boring stories. Ready? Let's get this book party started. Hey, Book Besties! Tonight we are chatting with Jess Christine, a speech therapist turned romance author who writes the most deliciously swoony stories that feel like a warm hug for your heart. When she's not crafting cinnamon heroes and sassy heroines in her romance rehab series, she's binge watching TV shows and living her own happily ever after in Georgia with her family. And Book Besties, let me tell you, her cotton candy romances are the perfect indulgence. So we're celebrating both When You Left Me Speechless, which is out now, and getting all the tea about When You Had Me Adapting, which is coming January 3rd. So if you love workplace romance with all the tension, swooning cinnamon roll heroes, which I know a lot of my audience loves those cinnamon rolls, professional boundaries being tested, characters that feel like best friends, and all the feel-good vibes, then you're in for such a treat with Jess and her books. So whether you're commuting to work while you're listening to this episode or you're watching this at home and on your couch, get cozy, grab your snacks, and get ready to chat about these utterly irresistible stories. Thank you for joining me, Jess. I'm so glad that you're here so we can talk about these books.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited. So, we're going to be diving in using my paper fortune teller to really deep dive into these two books without hopefully giving away too many spoilers to the audience. If we do accidentally slip with a spoiler, I'll make sure to put up a warning or something when this episode airs, which is January 20th, just so that everyone knows that's when this episode is airing. But is there anything that you want to mention, like high level about the both books, before we dive in deeper?
Well, When You Left Me Speechless is my first book, and it is a forbidden workplace romance, and it features Poppy Collins. And then When You Had Me Adapting is the second book, and it is a second chance romance. And it features Lacey Sims, who's Poppy's best friend in book one.
And so this is an interconnected series. And
yeah, interconnected standalones. Yeah.
Yes. So if a reader were to like hop in at When You Had Me Adapting, it's not going to be at the end of the world. They'll be able to read it. They'll be able to follow along, but they probably would like enjoy it even more if they read When You Left Me Speechless, so that they can get like the whole picture.
I'm way too type A to not read a book series in order, but if jumping in the
we accidentally do it though. Sometimes it's an accident.
Right.
It has happened to me too many times where I'll be like halfway through a book and I'm like, wait, is there a first book to this? And then
I know.
you're like, okay, let me finish this and then go read that. So it's always nice when like it's okay to pick it up.
It's completely okay. But
it's okay.
More fun to start from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And then that way you get to like see like cameos from characters. It just makes it like, really fun to have all of that like background. Hey, Book Besties! Jordan here with a totally rad shopping alert that's all that. Remember making those perfectly curated mixtapes for your BFFs? Well, I've done the same thing, but with an amazing collection of bookish must-haves in my flagship shop. From aesthetic bookstagram props to cozy self-care essentials, I've personally selected everything your bookish heart desires. It's like having your own personal shopping bestie who just gets you. Ready to treat yourself or find the perfect gift for your fellow romance reader? Head over to flagship.shop/she'sallbooks. Because shopping for bookish goodies should be as fun as a literary sleepover. That's flagship.shop/she'sallbooks, where every purchase supports your girl in this podcast. Later, besties. Knowledge. All right, so I'm not sure if you've seen any of the episodes of the show, but like I just mentioned, I do use a paper fortune teller or a cootie catcher, depending on where you're from and what you call it, to ask my guests questions about their books. So this is not like your traditional way of using this. We're not asking it yes, no, maybe questions.
That's okay.
I have questions that are tied to the 8 numbers that are in here. And then in typical me fashion, I've got extras that I'm going to throw in there because I can never just stop at 8. Who could ever stop at 8? So I get a little sneaky with how I do this. So, what did you call this? Paper fortune teller or cootie catcher?
I think cootie catcher.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
A
I've
lot of
heard
people.
both, but I think cootie catcher.
Okay. I was a paper fortune teller girly. All right. And your colors are going, and I will repeat this. See, I'm already getting tongue tied. I will repeat this over and over again so you don't have to memorize these colors, but you will get sick of me spelling them. Orange, pink, purple, or green.
Let's do purple.
Purple. All right. Purple, and it's not too great in this camera. 2, 3, 6, or 7.
You said 2. Yeah.
Question number 2. And if I don't write this down, I get all sorts of mixed up. Okay, so talking about book 1, when you left me speechless, what made you choose, which I think we just kind of talked about briefly in your intro, speech therapy as Poppy's career path?
So I have a master's degree in speech language pathology, and I'm like a avid romance reader. It's my favorite genre, and I was searching for a book that had a speech therapist as the main character, and I couldn't find one. Like I would come across some that had like physical therapist or like physical therapy adjacent careers, like a sports trainer or something like that. And then like even like one occupational therapist. But I was like, where are the speech therapists? So I don't know. I was feeling burnout at work and looking for something creative to just decompress with, and got the idea for Speechless and decided to write it. And it was fun. I kind of got to like relive a lot of my grad school days and
Yeah,
put that on paper, which was therapeutic in a way I didn't know I needed. But yeah, so
that is
she's a speech therapist
awesome.
because I am.
Very cool. I love that. My daughter, who I mentioned sometimes on this podcast, is autistic, so we are very familiar with speech pathology and occupational therapy, which is in our weekly rotation, and both of these books mentioned frequently. All right, so that's kind of what I thought was going to be your answer in a way. And do you think that like Poppy had other characteristics that reflect you as well, or was it like just a speech pathology career?
Oh no. So there's like stereotypes within like the therapy world. Like if you're a therapist, everybody kind of thinks that like all speech therapists are a certain way and all OTs are a certain way. And, we all kind of go with that profession because of our personality traits, which, isn't always completely accurate, but a lot of the time is. And speech therapists have a reputation for being like pretty type A. And
Yeah.
Poppy's definitely pretty type A, like I am. I don't know. I think all my characters kind of get a little bit of me in them just because it's what I know. But yeah, she definitely has my type A, like organized, her calendar's color coded. She probably has a bunch of planners, that kind of.
Paper planners? Are you talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
She has a calendar on her phone and on her wall in the book. So, and they match. And Logan's like, "Why do you have two?" She's
Yeah,
like, "Because I need them.
I love
Can't
it.
function without them."
Um, all right, let's keep diving in. Pink, green, orange, or purple?
Let's do pink.
Pink. All right. Pink. We have 2, 3, 6, or 7 again, but you just answered 2. So 3, 6, or 7. Question number 6. What inspired you? Now we're shifting over to when you had me adapting. What inspired you to combine wildlife photography and occupational therapy?
I don't know. I knew Lacey had to be, so all of my books will feature a rehab professional. So, Speechless was a speech therapy grad student, adapting as occupational therapy. So Lacey's career was set from the beginning. But I needed a career for Jace, and I needed something that would have taken him away for a long time and kept him busy elsewhere. And I like writing kind of nerdy, hot, nerdy MMCs, and he's just kind of like a nerdy animal obsessed guy. And
Yeah.
it was actually really fun. It was fun to learn about that career. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and like followed other wildlife
Yeah.
photographers photographers and tried to kind of see how, how their lives worked and that kind of thing for research, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was just, I don't want to say it was a fluke, but it just kind of came to me and I like just became obsessed with it and it just fit him.
I love that. I would think it's probably impacted like your algorithm on your searches and
Yeah.
stuff. And you probably were like getting like advertisements for like wildlife photography and stuff, which is
It did for a while. Now it's just Wicked, but it did for it did.
love it. Absolutely. All right. Orange, purple, pink, or green?
We'll do green.
Green. All
Yeah.
right. Green. All right. Oh my gosh. 3 or 7, because it's the same cluster of numbers.
7.
7. All right. Question number 7. All right. So let's shift back over to Speechless, and we're going to stay at When You Left Me Speechless for a few questions, and just so that the viewers, listeners aren't getting too confused with me bouncing back and forth. So just as a reminder, When You Left Me Speechless is following, not a reminder for you, reminder for the audience, Poppy and Logan.
Mm-hmm.
So my question now for you is, which of Logan's cinnamon roll moments was your favorite? Or just like what parts of his like cinnamon roll personality are your favorite?
He's just like, there's a scene in Speechless where they're in an IEP meeting and the parent isn't exactly kind to Poppy and he sticks up for her, like in a really professional way because he's in front of a parent, but he kind of puts the mom in her place. And like I don't think she's never had anybody do that for her before or like call her smart or make her like validate her that she was choosing the right career. And so he does that. And it was just a really special moment to write like for them as characters, but then just fun to get to put that on paper. And I mean, I've had those moments as speech therapist, like especially as like a grad student, people thinking like, well, you're just a grad student. Like you're not an actually licensed therapist. You don't know what you're talking about. But as a grad student, you're thrown into those situations where you are the practicing therapist. And that can be hard for people to wrap their head around. And some people are more accepting of it than others. And it was fun to have him kind of come to her defense. And yeah, I really like that scene.
So, and you don't have to answer this question. When you were practicing speech pathology, were you in the schools or were you private sector?
So I've done a little bit of a bunch of different things. So I was in the schools for a few years and then mostly middle and high school age students. I did do like my grad school, I worked a lot with kids. But after graduate school, just kind of liked the older population. Yeah. And then my passion is traumatic brain injury. And I worked with traumatic brain injury patients for the majority of my career. And so I was doing that full time and in like inpatient setting. And then last October, well, I guess not last October, it was a year in October, I went part-time, like very, very part-time. So I could be at home with my kids and now I write.
That's so cool. And the only reason I was asking you that is the IEP scene. My background is in school counseling, so I went and got my master's for school counseling, and so I've been in many IEP meetings as a parent and as a therapist. So, anyways, it was cool to read that, and I was wondering how much experience like you personally had with those types of settings because it felt so realistic. So, anyways, that's where I was going.
Lots of experience. Yeah. Nothing actually happened, but definitely pulled on from some real experiences.
In the environment so much that you probably were able to like really craft that. All right, pink, purple, green, or orange?
Oh, which one have we not done? Orange?
Orange. All
right.
Let's
do orange.
ORANGE. Oh my gosh, the same cluster. And it's not you, it's me. It's probably the way I'm opening it each time. Would you like to answer question 3 and then I'll fudge it to the other questions?
Yes, I would love 3.
Question number 3. I was hoping you would say that. All right. Was there a specific scene when you were writing When You Left Me Speechless that surprised you with Poppy and Logan? Like, maybe it surprised you in a good way, maybe it surprised you in like a, I don't know where this came from, this scene that I'm writing. Did you have a scene like that?
I think their like first spicy scene, like I definitely knew like how I was going to get them like in the same place. I don't plot very well. I just have ideas and then I hope I remember them when I'm writing.
Right.
I have like a lot of notes apps with a lot of ideas that I never go back and look at and just hope it comes to me later again. But in that scene, like after he like comes into her apartment and he finds like something on her nightstand, that was not planned at all. And he kind of took me by surprise with that. I'll say that. I think
Characters running wild.
they do, they tend to run wild. More so in book two. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, we're doing this. Okay, let's.
Okay, we're in
But
this.
yeah, I think that was surprising, I guess.
And I
That was
do like to always mention to those who are listening or watching that you, when authors do this, I like to mention it. You include a dictionary at the beginning of
I
your
do.
books.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because most of my viewers love open door, but like for folks who are not like, they're like, I'm okay without that. I don't mind like closed door. You have like it marked in the book and also I think on your Instagram.
I do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
at the beginning of each book, there's a dictionary, and then at the like in my pinned banner,
Okay.
the speechless dictionary is there, and then once adapting comes out, I'll pin adaptings. I don't know. I was like, do I go ahead and pin the chapters or do I wait till it's out so I don't spoil anything? But it'll be there as well.
Yeah, so that's always a fun option for folks who are like, I love like the romance books minus the spice and things like that. So I can't imagine how much time that takes you to like put that together, but it is, I know, appreciated. I mean, I'm an open door romance queen, but I know that a lot of people do appreciate that. So I like to always plug that when that's available. All right. So you mentioned that you are not a plotter, but you don't like completely fly by the pants of your by the seat of your
No.
by the yes. Like you kind of just like have ideas of where you want it to go and you listen to the characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I don't know, with Speechless, I I tried to come up with a plot and even with adapting, like I tried to like kind of plot it out and I stuck to it somewhat, but I think like as I write and the characters interact, sometimes things just go different than like I thought they would. Like there's one scene that I won't give away in adapting. And like from like the minute Speechless was over, I was like, this scene is happening in adapting. And like I had it in my head. And then I started writing the book and I was like talking to my PA and I was like, I just don't think this scene's gonna happen the way I like it happens in a different way, but it didn't happen the like way I thought it would, if that makes sense. So the line I wanted her to say is still in the book, but it the setting's different and the circumstances are different than I had originally thought they would be.
I love that. That's fun. That kind of like even surprises you as you're writing it.
Yeah.
So you get to like get the excitement as well. All right. We'll see what numbers we land on now. Green, pink, orange, or purple. Pink. All right. P-I-N-K. Oh my gosh. So those same numbers. It has to be with like how I'm holding it. 1, 4, 5, or 8. 1. All right. Question number 1. Okay, so shifting now to When You Had Me Adapting, which is book 2 in the series. And book 2, When You Had Me Adapting, follows Jason Lacey for those who are following in the audience. This is a fun, they were childhood, they knew each other as children, and then like 10 years later, right, I think it's 10, they're reconnected. Okay, so that would be, in my mind, so hard to like get that timeline and like the flashbacks and everything. What was it like writing that? Like a scenario that has like these flashbacks?
Yeah, so when I started adapting, the prologue was a flashback and I didn't really have any plans to do more flashbacks. And then as I started writing it, I was like, no, like there's certain things I want to show that happened, way before the start of adapting. And so the flashbacks kind of came to be, and I had to have like I have a calendar where I mark everything because like you have to really get into like the nitty gritty of like when they graduated high school and
Right.
like how old are they now and is that many years ago and and then even just like every detail you put out, I had to write it down and I referenced it a lot and then triple checked it and had my editor check it because I did want to get the timeline right. But the flashbacks ended up being my favorite scenes in adapting, or some of my favorite. I won't say they were my. I like some of the ones that are in the present too, but they were really fun to write. I married my high school sweetheart. They like writing some of those flashback scenes um, were just special because I don't know, I just remember being like 16, 17 in love with my now husband and no, people think you're crazy that like you'll end up with that person. And so that was really fun to put down on paper. But yeah, I hope people enjoy the flashbacks because they're kind of I'm like trying, I don't want to give too much away, but like you get to see them at a bunch of different ages because they really have known each other since they were born. So like they've known each other their whole lives and then they get together in high school and then something happens and then they don't see each other for a decade and then it picks back up.
So
So
which of the couples from book 1 or book 2 were the most challenging to write?
gosh, that's hard. I think, I mean, they definitely challenged me in different ways because I wanted it to feel like I wanted both of them to feel like realistic. Even though I know it's fiction and like a romance book, and like you have the forbidden workplace aspects of Speechless, which are like every HR department's nightmare. And so like that was challenging because I didn't want it to feel like too unrealistic.
Right.
But then like with adapting, I just wanted to like do their story so much justice and I wanted it to like really make sense, like how they went from being so close to not being together to then back together, finding themselves like in the same place again. So I don't know. I think that was the biggest challenge. I don't want to pick a favorite,
Of course. That's why I said challenging.
but
I did
but
not go favorite route.
but I think Jason Lacey definitely like I really love their story.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's awesome. All right. Purple, pink, orange, or green?
Green.
Green. All right. Green. We did it. Look at us. 4, 5, or 8.
Uh,
All right. Question number 5. What do you think, or I don't know, this question's kind of a hard one, I feel like, to answer, but I'm not you, so I can't speak for you. What do you think any part of adapting or when you had me adapting will surprise readers? And I know that you can't like spoil it, but like I'm trying to figure out like how to word that in a way that's not setting up for a spoiler. I don't know. What do you think is going to be the most exciting part of that book when it releases on January 23rd for our readers?
I mean, that is a tough question. I do think that
Dull it down a little bit.
some things will surprise people. I've been really like nervous to post like a lot of teasers because I just don't want to give anything
Right.
away. So I've been hesitant to do that, but like arcs are going out soon, so like I know before long quotes will be all over Instagram from arc readers. But I do think there will be some surprises. I think the spice surprised me in it. Lacey's a bit of an exhibitionist. Like there's like multiple scenes where they're doing something in public or like semi-public places, which was not planned going into the book at all. So I think that might be surprising. I mean, if you read book 1, you'll know like kind of her personality, and she's like doesn't really hold back, and she's pretty sassy and just, I think she's a lot of fun, but she does have a lot more layers there, as we all do. So I think people will enjoy kind of digging deeper with her character for sure.
Exciting. All right. Orange, purple, green, or pink?
Purple?
Purple. All right. Purple. Now you're just being an overachiever. 4 or 8. You're landing on numbers.
A 4.
4, which really has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how I'm holding it. Which I feel bad because sometimes authors are like, okay, so I think if you do this number, or this color, we'll get to these numbers. I'm like, it just honestly has to do with like, how am I opening it? How did I pick it up? Like, it has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with me. All right. Question number 4 is one of my favorite types of questions, which is a never have I ever speed round. So it's really just drilling you with never have I ever. So if you could hold up your hand, and folks who are watching who have never played Never Have I Ever, you would have to put a finger down right now. I'm just kidding. So you start off with all 5 fingers, and I'm going to say something that I've never done, and if you've done it, you have to put a finger down. Okay.
Okay.
All right. My goal is to
I'm laughing because they play this in adapting. They play Never Have I Ever in
love when
adapting.
this happens.
So let's go.
Okay. So when, oh my gosh, I just like off my back. I tweaked it. Okay. So my goal is to get all 5 of your fingers down. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. All right. So the first one is never have I ever accidentally used therapy jargon that readers had to Google.
I've probably done that, right? Yeah.
I think some of these are like cheap shots. Never have I ever based a therapy session in my book on a real experience. Never have I ever gotten lost in medical research rap, which I've never done, shockingly.
I mean, for the books, not yet. For myself, all the time.
I fall down some crazy rabbit holes. All right.
I'm like, this spot means something. Like, Google, tell me what's wrong with me.
Yeah. Oh, that I do that for sure. Yes, I said true. Never have I ever written a scene that made my alpha or beta or ARC readers cry. Okay, last line, last finger, and my last shot here. Never have I ever had to tone down the professional terminology.
You won.
It wasn't fair.
Yeah, the first draft of Speechless, I think I had like my cousin's wife read it, and she was like, girl, you're gonna have to fix all of this. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, really? But I think when you just, I don't know, when you do something for so long, you feel like it's like, oh, everybody knows what this means, but they don't. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, that was fun. Thank you for indulging me in that. So we have one number left, and that is number 8. So let's see if we can find it in this. All right, pink, purple, green, or orange?
We'll do purple again, since adapting's purple.
Purple, and you did it. Would you like to answer question number 8?
I would love to.
You were going to have to answer it anyways. Okay, so this one is another favorite game of mine, a Would You Rather lightning round. So I'm going to give you 2 options for each. Like there's 4 total, and from the 4, anyways, would you rather? You pick which one you'd rather do. Okay, so would you rather write a therapy office meet cute or a coffee shop meet cute?
I think a coffee shop meet cute.
Yeah. Those are fun. I like those. I like any type of meet cute. Okay, would you rather your characters have professional boundaries or cross all the lines?
Cross all the lines.
Seriously. It's a very boring book if there were professional boundaries. Okay. Would you rather write sweet moments or steamy scenes?
That's hard. I think steamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Would you rather school drama or workplace drama?
Workplace drama.
Yeah, definitely relatable for sure. All right, well, those were my 4 Would You Rather lightning rounds. Thank you for indulging me in that as well. I like to sneak in games whenever I can to get all of those nostalgic vibes. All right, so those are all of the paper fortune teller questions. I'm going to just go through a couple to see if there's any questions I didn't sneak in there. Okay, So for When You Had Me Adapting, I'm pretty sure that I wrote this question from one of the blurbs that I read online. Obviously, I've not read the book yet. But is there a significance of having your female main character, Lacey, more experienced than Jace? Was that like, is that something I just birthed in my head? Did I?
I mean, she definitely, I mean, he's experienced, but I will say, like, she likes to have a good time,
Just more
which, like,
forward, maybe?
yeah, I would say she's more forward. And if you see that in book one with her for sure, or at least a little bit. I think that's, I mean, I think it's stereotypical for the guy to be the one that's like more forward and more experienced and all of that kind of stuff. And like something that, I mean, they're like in the rehab profession, it is a lot of women, but I mean, there's men too, but like all of the main characters who are therapists in my books are women.
Yes.
So they're like an all women's therapy team, which I think is really cool and fun. And I've worked, I mean, no shade to the fellas, but I've worked on those teams and I like the idea of like strong women who, know who they are and aren't afraid, to be who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
He knows what he's doing though. I will give Jace credit there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell the audience like what the team consists of, like what the team of therapists?
Yeah, so in book one, you really just meet Lacey and Poppy. Lacey's an occupational therapist. Poppy is in school to become a speech therapist, and then she, is working towards her master's in book one. And then in book two, you meet the rest of their team. They all work at an assisted living facility. And so there's another speech therapist, which is important because if Poppy just graduated, you have to have like a supervisor for 9 months before you get your full license. So Chloe fills that spot. So she's the more experienced speech therapist on the team. And then Ren is a recreational therapist and Gray is a physical therapist. And then there's other therapists mentioned kind of in the background, certified occupational therapy assistants, physical therapy assistants, but the main core group are speech, OT, PT, and then a rec therapist.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to collaborate with Afternoon Delight. They are a coffee roast company that has coffee flavors that you can choose from that correspond with romance tropes. I chose the Forced Proximity blend. I'm just so excited to share this with you. They've given me and my followers a 10% discount. All you have to do is enter She's All Books at the checkout and you'll get 10% off your order. And you have so many flavors to choose from because what romance lover doesn't want romance blended coffee? But I'm so excited. I'm gonna make a cup now. Oh my God, it smells so good. Oh my God, this is so good. It tastes like the perfect balance of like flavor and coffee, so it's not like overpowering with the caramel and coffee, the chocolate and caramel notes, but it's there and it's exactly what I needed this morning. Okay, besties, let me know which of these tropes you would choose from Afternoon Delight in the comments.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, so now we're at the part of the episode where we are going to play MASH. And so
I love it.
With the bookish twist. So anyways, the fun idea is that we're going to be plotting your next bestsellers. So the categories are a little bit different, but some of them are the same from how you might have played this growing up if you were like me and you were playing MASH way more than focusing
all the time
on your teacher. Yep, exactly.
All the time.
So for folks who are like, oh gosh, my computer just popped up with it. Once again, let's try to restart again. This is insane. So if you are not sure what I'm talking about, you're probably paying attention in school versus doing what I was doing. But MASH stands for Mansion, Apartment, Shack, or House. And it is just a fun game that we would play when we were younger in like elementary school, where it was like predicting your future. And you would always like pick different things for each category that you wanted. So like your crushes like jobs, like rocket scientists, whatever. And then your friend who you'd be playing it with would get to pick the last thing for each category. The last, I can't even think of the word.
Like the bad thing.
The bad thing. So it would be like, you're going to have 27 kids or whatever. So that's the high overview of MASH. I highly recommend that you check it out if you've never played it, and I bet everyone's gonna go and play MASH right when they get off of this episode. Okay, so the categories we're gonna do are main characters, so the two main characters, names, and then careers for both of them, and then number of kids, and tropes. So just to give you like a high level.
This is fun.
Okay, great.
This is how I'm going to plot all my next books. This is going forward. It's just MASH.
Exactly. Yeah, this is totally how you should plot your books. All right, so main character number 1, and you can tell me if it's a main male character, a female main character, whatever you want, you pick.
Let's do the female main character first.
Okay, let's do the female main character first, and you pick, so you're going to pick 2 for each category, and I'll pick 1 for each category. So Go ahead and do 2 names.
2 names? Can they be in my current books? Or do they need to be like other names?
No, this is your future bestseller, so it's up to you.
Let's do Red and Gray. See what they're getting up to.
Okay. Red. I will throw out a random name. I wish I could think of one of their assistant names or something. I will say Chloe. All right. What is the female main character's career?
Let's do physical therapist.
Okay.
Rec therapist.
Did you say prep therapist?
Rec. Recreational therapist, yeah.
Pen is dying. Okay. I have backups. Okay. All right. And then I will say social worker. And then male main characters' names.
This is always this one's so hard for me to. I feel like I just know so many people. Like the names that pop into my head are people that I know. I've had to rework a whole character one time because I realized I knew somebody with their name and didn't want to do that. Let's see. Let's do Alex.
Okay.
Just for funsies. And Chris.
Well, so Joe.
Or actually, let's do Tanner. Take one of the other ones away and do Tanner.
Okay.
Because Tanner's in the books and he's a lot of fun.
All right, main male character's career.
Oh, this is always hard for me to come up with too. That's why I just pick random things like wildlife photographer. So let's do an orthotist. Like the person who makes orthotics. And then something like a realtor.
What was that?
A realtor.
Okay.
I don't know. Something not therapy related.
I'll say cardio. Now, number of kids.
2 or 3.
And I'm going to say
only 2, yeah. Let's see. Fake dating.
Okay.
And brother's best friends.
All right. And I will say, I'm going to just take it so far in a direction that I'm going to choose a you either love it or you hate it trope. And I'm going to do, there's a few to choose from. I'm going to say surprise pregnancy.
Yes. I was hoping that's what you were going to. Please put that down.
Favorite tropes. All right, so now we're at the very scientific part of MASH where I do this research-based thing, and I'm going to start spiraling until you tell me to stop, and that's going to tell me how much to count, and the magic will happen. So go ahead, and I can't do it while I hold it up because I'm not that talented, but just tell me what to stop. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For the kids out there who don't know what I'm talking about, that tells me how many times I count and slash until we get 1 left in each category. And that is the future bestseller. Okay, so while I do this, if there's any, I could always just do the fast forward fun thing, but if there's anything you can share with the audience about upcoming signings or appearances or anything that they can expect from you coming up in the future that you're able to share, you can share that, or you can talk more about when you had me adapting. It's totally up to you. and I'll do this as fast as I can.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. So I'll be at Romantically Yours in Orlando in August of this year, which I'm really excited about. I think there's tickets still available. So if you are in the Orlando area or just want to come and play in Disney with us for a day and then go to a book signing, I'll be there. And then I don't really have anything else planned as far as those go for now. But When You Had Me Adapting is out January 23rd, and it is a spicy rom-com. It's a lot of fun because of like the flashbacks and the second chance and the childhood like friends to lovers, but there's also like a lot of like fun things that happen like on the side. I think something that I'm really excited about in that book is that you kind of see two friend groups colliding and like the like birth of this newfound family. So like I feel like in a lot of books like you kind of get the found family like once they're already like super connected and strong. And this one's a little different. Like you get to you kind of at the beginning they're like, you know, Logan and Poppy are together and their friend groups are kind of like being forced to hang out with one another. And by the end of the book, there's something really special there that's going to really, you know, be a big part of the next three books too. So that was really fun to write, kind of like the beginnings of a found family.
That is exciting. Very exciting. I want to go
Yeah.
to Disney. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that while I worked the magic and I have your next plot. I have to say,
Good.
I've never lucked out this much with options that I put in there. So I'm shocked. Usually I'm lucky to get one thing my way. All right. So your MASH results are in, and your female main character is Ren.
Okay.
And then this is when I got nervous. Ren is a physical therapist, according to MASH.
According to MASH.
Main male character is Joe. Joe's career is a cardiologist. There's 0 kids, but the trope is surprise pregnancy. So there's 0 kids at one point. And then somebody
until there's not 0 kids.
Yeah, until there's not anymore. Somebody lives in a shack. I don't know who lives in a shack. I don't know if this is like a beach shack. Like, I don't know what this is, but that is
I think it sounds like a bestseller.
That is your next bestseller, and all I ask is that, you know,
I will acknowledge you for sure. Put you in the acknowledgement.
Yeah. Thank you for playing that with me, and thank you
that
for
was fun.
all of these goofy games for some fun nostalgia, so that we could dive.
90s kid, like I love all of it. Yeah.
The 90s, sure. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Speechless's book release, it came out 2 days after my birthday this past year. And so they, like my best friend and my husband threw me a like surprise birthday / book release party.
Oh, neat.
And it was 90s themed because Logan and Poppy meet at a 90s party.
I love that.
It was a lot of, and I was born in the 90s, so it was a lot of fun. And this was thrown at me to put on for the party.
Nice.
So now I have it.
I love it. Absolutely adore it. So for folks who are watching, I'm going to link in the caption of this episode where they can connect with you, so they can quickly click. They can connect with you. They can find your books. They can pre-order When You Had Me Adapting. But this episode is airing on the 20th, so they would only have to wait like 3 days until they can read it. So they could have 3 days to hurry up and read When You Had Me Speechless, and then dive straight into When You Had Me Adapting. So You're welcome to everybody listening and watching this. That is done for you. Your next 2 reads. Perfect. So those are in the captions. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience that we didn't get to today, or anything that maybe we missed?
I don't think so. Like you were saying, just pre-order it, add it to your TBR. If you read it, leave a review.
Absolutely.
Do all of the things. But yeah, no. I think that's
awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on again, and I appreciate it. I hope you'll come back so we can chat about
thanks so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much, and thank you for tuning into this episode of She's All Books. Until next time, we'll see you then. Bye, besties. All right, book besties, that's a wrap on this totally rad episode of She's All Books. If you're digging this vibe, don't be a square. Smash that subscribe button faster than you can say as if. Want to keep the convo going? Hit me up on social media at She's All Books. Drop a comment, share your fave book, or tell me what you want to hear next. I'm all ears. And hey, if you thought this episode was all that, spread the word. Tell your besties, your mom, even that cute barista at the local coffee shop. The more, the merrier. Stay tuned for the next episode, dropping Mondays at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a blast. Until then, keep it real and keep on reading. See ya!